Hey guys, so what's up? It's Mark, and just back with another quick tutorial. I'm going to try and keep this one a lot shorter than the last one, even though I am covering a lot more in this video. Now, I thought I know there's quite a few people still like new to FL Studio, right? And it took me quite a while to get the hang of it because there weren't really any videos out there showing you how to generally use it. I know there's a lot more now, but I'm going to try and keep mine really short, to the point, with only covering like the main aspects of it. So if you've got the demo or if you've got the full version, this is essentially what your interface should look like. Up here it might look a bit different because you can move all this stuff around, but I always leave it default. But don't worry if it's different than that. Got your taskbar here, and obviously your tools, file, edit, whatever, up there. Right, this view here, this one I'm really badly scrolling through, this is essentially just your playlist. This is where you add all your different tracks. It plays along here. That's all that is. That's where you're going to compile your entire song all into the playlist. That's like the main hub. Quick side note, here obviously you got your play, your pause, your stop, whatever. This little button here, at least on FL Studio 12, I remember it was quite different. It took me a wee while to figure out what it is. It just changes what you're playing. Right now, as you can see, it's playing the playlist. If you click this button, it'll play the pattern, as you can see right here, or on the piano roll here. That's what that button does. Before I dive into any more of like the different windows here, this is just like essentially song information. Again, as I said, play, stop. This is recording external audio. I've never used that myself. So if you've got a MIDI keyboard or whatever. This here is your tempo. You've got presets if you right click on it. All that. It defaults, at least mine defaults, to 130 BPM. You can play around with that as much as you want. You can even change the milliseconds there and whatnot. Generally, you're not really going to do that though. You keep that there. If you want, this here, it's just a metronome. It counts the 4 beats. And the button here, it just times it so that when you hit play, the metronome will start at a certain point you desire. Right, so this button here, this is the playlist view, the one on the very left. The one next to it is called the step sequencer. This is generally where you do all your percussion. It's quite easy. You can add notes in to the step sequencer at any point. Sorry, I'm playing the pattern. That's just a kick. You can use this to put notes in like your more complex instruments, like your pianos and strings or anything like that, but it will default the notes here to C5. You can change it in the settings, but as a default it will just be C5. So generally you go into another window to do all your melodies and your bass lines and whatnot. This is mainly just for your percussion instruments, your basic just loops. Yeah, that's that. Moving on, the next one here is called the piano roll. This is what I was talking about. This is where you have your more complex, you have your entire range of notes all the way up to 10 and all the way down to 0. Yeah, that's pretty much what you do all your melodies and whatnot. You can do this and whatever. That actually sounded pretty cool. That was really just a random. But yeah, when you add in, I'm gonna show you guys how to add in different instruments in just a second, but I'll show you how that becomes more relevant later on. Moving on, this one here, it just hides your taskbar. You pretty much always want that up though, so you can access quickly every single aspect of FL Studio. The next one up here, it's the last one I'm going to talk about. These ones are not your basics. This is the mastering interface. This is where you can add effects and all that kind of jazzy stuff to your instruments. As a default on this, I've got all these automatically set to input 1, 2, 3, and 4. That links to the master. Insert 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this one here is kick. This is clap, hat, and snare. So if I wanted to add something pretty snazzy to make the kick sound a bit cooler, sorry, I just muted all these other. This is just essentially your mute button here. This little green light. This is the panning, so left and right panning. So that's all in the right ear, and it will all be in the left ear now. And this is just your volume. I'm just going to reset all that. Right, so we've just got the kick playing now. I'm going to cut all that out, so just keep it on the loop. Sounds very basic. You go over to the insert you want. The kick here, as you can see, is playing. This is just the channel for it. This here is your volume, another pan, and another mute button just on the master. Again, this all here, it's a bit more advanced, so I won't talk about it right now. And in all honesty, I don't know what all of them do. I know what a few of them do, don't know what all of them do. But yeah, on our channel here, we've got the kick channel. You go to here, and here you've got all your different effects. I'll probably go through a few of them in very basic terms in other videos, but if we wanted to add a reverb, we do have two different reverbs. We've got number 1, number 2. I always use Free Reverb 2. As you see, it's added quite the reverb to it. I don't really know why I'd want such a reverb on my kick, but yeah, you can add a lot of different stuff in. You can add that EQ too, so that sounds all formed. Yeah, whatever phasers are. So yeah, all your effects, they completely can, as you can hear, completely change the sound of your instruments. Back to normal. Again, this is just like a channel volume, so it's like how much your reverb affects it. See, it's like nothing, gradually getting louder, and another mute button there. Right. As far as the taskbar goes, personally, I don't really often ever use anything here except the packs folder, which is where all your default packs come under. This Marcus Hakala, Vengeance, and Ambient Sweeps. These are all ones that I've added, but you guys should have all these drums. These are just, more. So I'm going to stop that now. It's annoying me. Or you're just, your bog standard sounds that you get supplied with FL Studio. If you're looking for some plugins so you can have like synths and whatnot, that will be you can actually find them there, to be honest. Sorry, I'm not really thinking right now. You can add them from this menu, but it is a lot easier to just right click on one of these, go to insert, or replace. You can replace, so this would be replacing the kick, but I don't want to be doing that, so go to insert, and here, these ones up here that I'm highlighting now, these are ones I've added in since. You won't have these unless you've paid for them or downloaded them or whatever, but all these ones here, these are your default fruity, with the producer edition, which I have. They come with it. A lot of them you will need to buy. These are only demos, so I think Sakura is just demo version. The demo version means that you can use it, but it won't be saved, and if you do export your song with it, it will be muted. So it's essentially you can play around with it as much as you want, but you can't save it in any format, so it's a bit of a bummer, but that happens. A lot of them you do get, so like FL Keys here, you will get the full version of it and with no limitations. But yeah, I'm just hitting keys on my keyboard here. If you've got a MIDI keyboard, obviously you plug that in, that should work fine. But yeah, this is the kind of instrument that you're going to be using for the piano roll. So if right click on it and take it into piano roll, you can also change between channels from this little drop down menu here. The little tick just means that there is something happening in that channel. As you can see in the step sequence where you've got all three here. The snare's got nothing, so the snare hasn't got a tick. FL keys hasn't got anything yet, but it will do now. There you go. Also changing between patterns, it's just this little menu here. You can right click on it and find first empty to create a new one and all that kind of jazz. We're going to say pattern 1, and I'm just going to create a little melody here. I'll probably cut away and come back when I've finished. Right, so here I've actually, the only melody I can remember was the Eurodancer one, so I've just created that here. Give you guys a little listen. This bit down the bottom here, this is called, you can actually change what you view. It's normally defaulted on velocity, but it can be something else, and you can change between it. On velocity, it's essentially how hard the keys are hit, so if we just highlight the front bit here, that's how loud it is. If you drop the velocity, maybe not that much, you can hear it's a lot quieter. Be even more obvious when I do this. Kind of like fades in. Personally, I wouldn't recommend doing that to get a fade in sound. There's a lot easier ways to do it. But yeah, that's what the piano roll does. You can also change like how you view it by this little bit up here. If you just click and drag up, it increases the size. Drag down, obviously, reduces the size. Just helps you view it all a little bit easier. Coming out of piano roll, you can pop that in the playlist. So that's playing from the playlist now. You've got a few different tools up here. This little arrow here is just your essential drop down menu. It's pretty explanatory what all of that is, except this snap here. You can actually get to this from the little magnet here. Cell indicates that, you see this little rectangle here, that is a cell, and steps are these are individual steps, so there's 4 steps in a cell, and changing it to half a step will allow you to move the playlist a half step along. It'd be easier to view it like this. You can see the little kicks, these little white dots here. Moving it there, it's on a cell or a step even. It can move it half steps like that, and it's the same all the way along there. I personally never use the beat bit down here. I stick to changing it between steps. Normally you do want to keep it on self though, so there we go. Obviously left click adds, right click deletes. Forgot to mention that, I apologize. And what else can we do? Actually no, I covered that in one of my other videos. You have the master volume here. It controls the volume for the entire project, and the pitch as well. Again, I can't think of a time where I would use that. It's good though that they give you the option in FL Studio. You do have a lot of options, many of which I don't really see the point, but it's nice to have the option there. Moving on, currently I'm in paint mode, which means I can drag and just paint the pattern as I see fit. Draw is different. It allows you to do it, but when you hold it, as you can see, you just drag the actual pattern along. Delete means left click is delete. I can display that for you right now. Left click on that, delete it. I don't use the mute here. It don't use a slip here. Slice, if you click on that, it allows you to slice the pattern in any way you see fit, so that they are now separate entities. It's a handy tool that you can actually do a similar kind of thing. Once you slice them, if you want it shorter, you don't have to come here, slice it like that, and then delete. You don't have to do that. All you can do is just click and drag the pattern as so. So they'll only play up to this bit. Yep. Or I can extend it like that. Let's stop that there. Selecting just allows you to do that. Another way you can do that is to hold Control and just drag your mouse. It's easy like that. And as you can also switch between patterns from there. So if I want to do that, I've got 2 different patterns, which means I can switch between them and pop them in at will. That, I believe, covers most of the basics. I've probably missed a few things out. I will be making more videos based around more detailed explanations of some of the effects in the reverb, the mixer, sorry, which includes the reverb. That's what I was going for. The step sequencer is fairly self-explanatory. Some of them, like swing here, I've never personally used. It just changes the view there. I prefer this view. I've always used this view. A lot of it is self-explanatory though, so you can add a different, thing from there if you want. You can select different patterns. So I've got these 3, and you can group the selected ones together, and that's it. I mean, it's all relative. Oh, actually, sorry, one thing I have forgotten to say. In order to assign mixer tracks, you don't have to do it like so. You can do it from your plugin. The easiest way to do it is just to go up to your menu in the top left window of the wrapper and just assign free mixer track, and it does it all for you. It titles it and it colors it, and that's how you do that. Again, I feel a lot of it is self-explanatory, but sometimes, like, the interface for me now is just really simple to understand. I know what buttons to use and what buttons I don't tend to use, so it's all pretty simple. But from a newbie's point of view, I hope I've cleared up what some of the buttons and all that do, and hopefully it means your dive into FL Studio is a lot simpler and it's a lot more understandable now. If you do have any questions, do feel free to leave a comment and ask. I will be going into more detail, as I said, on certain effects in the master. Those will be really short 2-3 minute videos, because I've never claimed, and I will never claim, to be an FL Studio Pro. I don't know what absolutely everything on each thing does. I do understand the basics of how a lot of them work, though, because obviously I do use them, and I do need at least a basic knowledge of what they do. At least that means my explanations will be really dumbed down to the basics, and if you want any more detail, you can obviously go and research yourself or look up more videos and all that. But yeah, if I do think of anything else, I will make like a part 2 to this maybe. But yeah, as I said, I think it's all fairly self-explanatory, and I hope you guys enjoyed and found it useful.